My first guest tonight is certainly keeping an eye on the congressional and state Senate races that are still up in the air, but it's probably safe to say that he's pleased with last week's election results overall. State Democratic Chairman Jay Jacobs watched his party sweep all of the statewide races. He joins us from Hofstra University on Long Island tonight. Chairman, thanks so much for your time.
Well, thanks for having me.
And you've had a little while to digest what happened last Tuesday night. You still riding that high?
It was a great night, and when people take a look at where we were about a year and a half ago and what people were looking at, potential primaries in the race for governor, the Senate seat held by Senator Gillibrand under attack and potential primaries, questions, of course, with our state Senate, which now, is still in contest, and we may yet pull it out. I have to tell you, you look at what we accomplished. I think it's a great achievement. I think a lot of the credit, frankly, belongs with Andrew Cuomo, who not only was the head of our ticket and captured the imagination of the voters, but frankly spent between $1.5 million and $2 million of his resources to build the best coordinated campaign, get out the vote operation we have ever had in the state. Thanks also to Senator Schumer, who contributed over $600,000 to ensure that we had the resources. Lots of candidates, Democratic candidates, won on election night that might not have otherwise won on election night because of Andrew Cuomo and his great team that helped us pull this one out.
Well, he put out two of his own teams today. He put out the list of 2 transitional teams that are going to help him take over as governor. What do you think of that list? There are some Republicans on there.
Well, you'll have to forgive me because I've been traveling all day today. I was out at the Suffolk County Board of Elections and then the Nassau County Board of Elections, and I didn't read the list. So I'm sitting here and I don't even know who we put out. I'll probably read it when I get back to my office this evening. As I know Andrew Cuomo, and I'm pretty confident, he is looking for talent no matter where that talent is, and he will be reaching out to Republicans. He has the capacity to build a broad bipartisan coalition. That's what people in New York want. They want results. They want to see action. And as everybody knows, if you're not working with the other party, then you're going to have a tough time getting it done. So I'm pretty confident he knows how to get it done. He'll do what's necessary to do that.
But the 3 statewide seats went all to Democrats. Do you think they needed to mix some Republicans in there, or you're happy with the results the way they turned out?
Well, I mean, in terms of the election results, I'm delighted that Tom DiNapoli is going to continue as our comptroller, Eric Schneiderman as Attorney General. Bob Duffy, by the way, who is just a magnificent public servant, a great individual, is going to be a spectacular lieutenant governor. He's the mayor of Rochester. I've gotten to know him. Very talented, very engaging. He's going to be a real plus, a positive on this ticket. It was Andrew Cuomo's first decision and most important decision, I think, early on, and it was a great one.
Well, the statewides have gone to Democrats, but the state Senate is really still up in the air. 3 seats now that we still don't have the answers to. What do you think the outcome's going to be there?
Well, I think we're pretty confident that Susie Oppenheimer's seat in the Westchester area is going to remain with the Democrats. Susie will pull it out. Up in the Erie County area, Antoine Thompson, there are quite a number of emergency ballots that haven't been counted and absentee ballots, a large number of them from Democratic districts. So, we've got good potential there, and it's a very close race. And then you've got Craig Johnson, who's behind now by 480 some odd votes, I believe, tens of thousands that have been cast. There are over about 3,400 absentee ballots. There are emergency ballots outstanding. And there's some question as to whether or not even the count that we have is accurate. We may need in some of these races to go to the paper and actually count every single ballot. We want to make sure we get it right.
Well, a lot is still up in the air, but say the Democrats pull it out, you maintain the majority. Do you think the leadership should stay the same over there?
Well, that's a decision that they're going to make. I think that, of course, there's going to be lots of discussion. But frankly, it's not for me here and now to be talking about leadership issues in the state Senate or elsewhere, frankly. I'm more interested in getting our team elected and making sure that Andrew Cuomo has got everything that he needs to be as successful as he can be.
Well, flipping it a little bit on you there, if the Republicans take it, do you think that your Democratic team is going to be able to work well with them?
Well, I know Andrew Cuomo will. I mean, Andrew Cuomo ran a campaign that was bipartisan nature. He had bipartisan support. Andrew Cuomo has already demonstrated a capacity to reach across the aisle and work with members of the other party. You know, I had a luncheon a couple of weeks ago with Dean Skelos, who is the minority leader in the Senate currently, and he was speaking very highly of Andrew Cuomo and his ability to work with him. So I believe that's true. I'm sure they'll all have their views, and I know that they'll stand firm for what they believe in. But if you have a relationship, and if you have a capacity to work with people, as Andrew Cuomo does, then you've got what it takes, I think, to make progress, even under tough circumstances.
Well, statewide, Democrats did do well. They didn't fare so well on the national scene. Some Democrats lost their seats here in New York.
Well, that's true. I mean, nationwide, we lost about 60 seats, I believe, and it was no different here in New York. It kind of, if you take a look at the numbers, though, it kind of went back to where it was before the build-up to the Obama election, where we had about 6 or 7 Republican seats out of the 29 seats that we have in New York. And that's about where it is right now. So it's not that we've taken a step back. I think we've just gone back to where we've been here. I think it's unfortunate. I think that, frankly, some of these members of Congress, like Scott Murphy, who I admire just so much, just didn't get a fair deal in the sense that voters didn't understand all of the things that Scott had voted for, other members of the congressional delegation had voted for that have benefited them. They don't even realize, most people, the 8% of the American public understood that in that $787 billion stimulus plan the Republicans bashed so regularly, there was a huge tax cut for most Americans. They just got it, you know, off their withholding tax. They didn't see it because that was the best way to get it to them so they'd spend and we'd create jobs, which was what it was about. So I think there were things we could have done a little bit better. Unfortunately, we didn't, and we're paying the price for it. The main thing is when you're in a bad economy, the party in power is going to take the hit. That's what happened. That's not unusual. It's not unique to this year.
What more could you have done in terms of voter education to get the word out then, if you think that it was really voter misunderstanding that led to these seats being lost?
Well, I think it's a big part of it is our national message, and I think that, you know, we tried very hard to get that word out, and sometimes in the chatter of a campaign, you're not successful, and, you know, the voters are in a bad mood, and they were in a bad mood. All the polling told us that. So, you know, I don't know if they were receptive to hearing about it. They heard about high debt. They knew that we needed to create jobs. They're upset with their property taxes. They see their income dropping. And so they're in no mood to hear about how great the Democrats did for them when the results they're feeling just aren't matching. So no matter what we would have said, I think the fact of the matter is when the person on the street is in danger of losing their job, or worse yet, has lost their job, or a family member has, and their income is dropping and their property taxes are still high, you know, it's time to take it out on somebody. And unfortunately, we were the party in power.
Well, moving forward, what should New York State look like for Democrats? What changes do you want to make?
Well, I think that Andrew Cuomo is going to roll up his sleeves and get started right away. I don't think the results will happen right away. We've got to be patient, but I think you're going to see progress on ethical reform in Albany. I think you're going to see a governor, you've seen him already, Governor-elect, going out and looking at facilities, who is going to get a great understanding of what state government looks like and should look like and how to get us there. I think the fiscal house that we've been struggling with is something that he's going to address immediately. And I think you're going to see progress, not right away. It takes time. People need to be patient. But over the next couple of months, you'll see Governor Cuomo making the kinds of progress and advancing the agenda that people voted for when they voted in such large numbers for him this past election day.
In your eyes, what can the Democratic administration that's on their way out do in these next 2 months that they have left?
Well, I mean, there's some cleanup that needs to get done. I don't know if they're going to undertake the big issues that we have to address. The property taxes need to be addressed. Some form of a cap needs to be implemented to hold down these increases in spending. There are consolidation issues. I'm not so sure that this state Senate and Assembly session is going to be able to resolve that in the short time that they have, and with a new governor coming in. But I know that in January, as soon as things get started, this Democratic team is going to get moving, and the people in New York will see results, and they will not be having buyer's remorse. They will be very happy that they elected Andrew Cuomo, their governor, and the team that ran along with him.
All right, Chairman Jay Jacobs, I was looking forward. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.